Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you have all had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving break and enjoyed time with your families. We're going to jump right back in today with our Wonder series. Today we're going to be starting our poetry section, and it's going to be Wonders Unit 2, Week 5. Today is going to be day 1. Our key concept for this week is figure it out, and the essential question is, how do people figure things out? We will read poems about figuring things out. We will think about how poets use words and phrases to show what a character thinks and feels. We will be able to talk and write about inventors and how people imagine new ways of doing things. So you're going to start with your reading and writing companion on pages 162 and 163. There's our essential question under Talk About It. How do people figure things out? And it says, when I go biking with my family, it's my job to figure out where to go. I use a map and ask questions to find the best places to ride. Then my family and I discuss our choices and decide together. Look at the photograph. Talk about how you decide what to do. Write about how you figure things out in the graphic organizer. So you see there it says figure it out, and it's got 3 boxes. So think about step 1, step 2, step 3. How would you figure out where to go? It is important to think things through when we need to figure out something. I will be reading aloud a poem about someone who figures out what to do with an old bike. So let's look at some features of poetry. They may use personification in which an object is given human thoughts or behaviors, may contain alliteration or the repetition of beginning sounds, and expressions and thought that expresses the thoughts and feelings of the narrator. So let's look at this interactive read aloud. New bike, old bike. I got a bike, an awesome bike, shiny and new, as bright as the sun, yellow seat, racing stripes, glitter grips, and glow in the dark reflectors. And out in the back, near the shed, stands my old bike. A baby blue bike with a fat tricycle seat, big first-grade grips, and a cartoon drawing of a little yellow duck on the fender, and training wheels, ugly training wheels. I zip past my old bike on my glittering, glorious, gleaming new bike. And I feel glad but kind of sad, all at the same time. I love my new fantastic, first-rate, phenomenal bike, but I love that old baby blue bike once too. Now there it is, now there it stands, looking at me, missing me, probably, while here I am whizzing past it in my super-duper dandy dream of a bike. Now here comes Nate, little brother Nate, who I call Noodles because of his curly hair. He looks at my old bike and he looks at me. You want it? I ask. It's a crazy cool bike, and I'll teach you to ride. So then you see 3 bubbles down at the bottom, and it says, number 1, think aloud. I will use the text in the first stanza to imagine what the new bike looks like. I can reread the poet's descriptions to make sure I remember what the new bike looks like. And up here you see number 1. They're talking about this right here. Number 2, think aloud. I want to reread this part of the poem to help me better compare and contrast the differences between the narrator's new bike and the old bike. And you see the number 2 right here. So they're talking about in this section right here. And then number 3, it says think aloud. I think that Nate may want the blue bike with the training wheels. I want to reread the section to make sure that I'm right about this. I wonder if the narrator will give the bike to Nate. I'll keep reading to find out. And you see right here, number 3. All right, so remember, you can always log in through ClassLink to go through and find these things, these poems and stories. All right, so then we're going to look at pages 164 and 165. It says shared read. So I'm going to read the sides and then we'll read the story together. Shared read, take notes. Understand why you are reading helps you adjust how you read. Preview the poems and establish a purpose for reading. Write it here. Why are you reading the story? As you read, make note of interesting words, key details. Look on page 165 on the side. It says find text evidence. Read page 164, alliteration. Put a box around words in the last line that start with the same sound. On page 165, simile. A simile uses the word like or as to compare two different things. Circle the similes. Pick one and write what it compares. Then at the bottom it says pages 164 through 165, point of view. Who is the narrator of this poem? Reread author's craft. How does the poet help you understand how empanadas are made? All right, so now we're going to go back and read. The title of this is Empanada Day. One bite of Abuelita's empanadas and my mouth purrs like a cat. Teach me, I beg, and bounce on my feet. Teach me to make this magical treat. Abuelita smiles. Be an observer, watch and learn, then you can take a turn. She sets before me a ball of dough, round and golden as the sun. My eyes white as saucers, I watch and follow. Press circles flat as pancakes, spoon on apple slices, and nose-tickling spices. Seal it all in a half-moon envelope of bliss. Together we write down every step as the empanadas bake and crisp in the oven, my stomach rumbling like a hungry bear. Ah, empanada day. Essential question, how do people figure things out? Read poems about different ways to figure things out. So go back and read that again for yourself and then fill in the sides of the pages on 164 and 165. Then you're going to go to pages 166 and 167. Again, let's read through the sides and see what it's wanting you to do. Share, read, find text evidence. Read page 166, rhyme. Underline 3 words that rhyme in cold feet. So read cold feet, 3 words that rhyme. Page 166, alliteration. Draw a box around 2 words that start with the same sound in our washing machine. Page 166, point of view. What does the narrator think about the washing machine? Circle text evidence. Reread author's craft. In cold feet, how does the poet help you visualize the inventor's problem? Then over here on page 167, it says, find text evidence. Read. Stanza 1, point of view. How does the narrator feel about the creature? Underline text evidence. In stanza 2, rhyme. Circle 3 words that rhyme. Now find 2 more words that rhyme. Write them here. Reread author's craft. Why is bugged a good title for this poem? So first look up at cold feet. An inventor with feet like ice and toes like 10 shivering mice. Looked at clothes, studied feet, read about cold and heat, and knit the first socks warm and nice. Our washing machine. Our washing machine is a bear that munches up socks by the pair. He will suds them and grumble as they spin, turn, and tumble, then spit them out ready to wear. And then bugged. A creature has crawled on my knee. It's a bug green as a pea. His 5 wings are fish fins. He's got teeth sharp as pins. Just imagine him chomping on me. I read every bug book I see to learn what this creature might be. I ask scientists too, but they don't have a clue. So I'm bugged by this great mystery. Make connections. What do all 4 poems have in common? Use your notes to talk about how they are alike. So these 3 and the one that we read on the last page, okay? So fill that in. So now let's look at some words in context. The first one is bounce. To bounce is to spring back after hitting something. Imagine. To imagine something is to picture it in your mind. Inventor. An inventor is a person who creates something for the first time. And an observer is someone who watches something. So now let's look at some of these poetry words. The first one is alliteration. Alliteration occurs when several words or syllables in a row start with the same sound. The next one is free verse. In a free verse poem, the lines do not need to rhyme. Limerick. A limerick is a funny poem of 5 lines with a specific rhyme pattern. And then we have rhyme. Kite and sight rhyme because they end with the same sound. Okay, now we're going to look at similes. Similes compare two things that are very different using the words like or as. Sometimes Sometimes authors use figurative or non-literal language to help achieve their purpose of guiding readers to picture something in a new way. Look at the words before and after, like or as, to identify the two things that are being compared. On page 166 of Cold Feet, the word like is after feet and before ice. This tells me that the author is comparing feet to ice. Ice is very cold, so the simile shows me in a new way that her feet were very cold. Now you're going to look at pages 168 and 169. This is talking about your vocabulary words and your poetry words. So I want you to complete those pages for me. And then the last thing that we're going to look at just a little bit is singular possessive nouns. So a possessive noun is a noun that shows who or what owns or has something, such as that is Henry's toy. This is Jessica's basketball. Add an apostrophe and the letter S to make a singular noun possessive. Jen's drawing is pretty. Her grandmother's garden has roses. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great day today. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I will see you all again very soon. Have a great day. Bye.